Afternoon all, how are we doing? Is anybody in here? It's a different time of day. I've got 12, that's right. I was just checking. It's a different time of day, so not sure if anybody's actually turned up. Right, we've got not long. Where are we? Got 8 minutes until non-farm payroll. Afternoon, Seymour, Stevie, Evil, Diamond. Happy non-farm payroll day. So I am. Oh, I haven't set the E up. Hang on. Oh, wrong one. No, not that one. Come on, brain. Okay, so I've got an opening range breakout news trade set file set up. Basically, because I've got some profit already, I've set it to $1,000 profit. So when I get to 1,000, if I get to $1,000 in profit, I'm going to get it to tighten up the stops, basically. So that's the only reason I've set that there. All this is going to do basically is take a $100 risk on one entry on an opening range break of the 15-minute prior to the news range. Okay, so I'm just taking one breakout, and I will re-enter if it stops out. I'm willing to risk a few £100 on this to give it a test. 40 pips stop. We'll tighten trailer after 40, move to break even after 40, which will do that anyway with the trailer. No add-ons. That's it. There we go. So we'll see what happens. This is the first attempt at this. So the 15-minute range is going to be that candle, and this candle. So at the moment, the 15-minute range is there and there. And we're just going to take a break of it, basically. We'll see what happens. Morning, Evan. Evening, morning, even. All new presentations since I've been away. All new presentations? What do you mean? Oh, you mean my new thumbnail for YouTube? Yeah. I've got a new thumbnail. There you go. Just a quick look at where we are before the news comes out. I'm sitting on $460 in profit. I've got a bit of a problem. Oil is not a problem, but I've got a bit of a problem with my hedge on the Canadian dollar. So I've got New Zealand dollar CAD, which is all the way up there in profit. And I've got Aussie dollar CAD short. So I'm hedged on New Zealand CAD long and Aussie CAD short. They're both in profit, which leaves me with a problem, because when the Canadian dollar news comes out, both of these, being Australian CAD crosses, are going to go in the same direction, meaning one of them is going to go wrong and one of them is going to go right. So what I'm doing, and I might regret this and I might get stopped out on both, is I'm break even stopping both of these positions. Because one's going to work and one's not. I'm assuming we're going to get a spike on the CAD. Obviously, if we don't get a spike on the CAD, it doesn't matter, does it? So obviously, this is not just non-farm payroll. This is Canadian unemployment figures as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to quickly, I'm not even going to post a screenshot. I'm just going to post it in the trades channel, what I'm doing. New Zealand dollar CAD and odd CAD. Putting stops to break even ahead of news as both in, can't type, both in profit and hedged. So yeah, nothing I can do with that. Pound US dollar. I've got a trailer on pound US dollar, which is sitting 50 pips. So I'm hoping, what I really want to happen is for the US dollar figures to be massively positive on any unemployment, which is going to tank this. And as that's already quite nicely in profit, it'd be quite nice if the Canadian dollar figures were absolutely terrible, which means New Zealand dollar CAD will fly. Aussie dollar CAD will just break out, stop at break even, and New Zealand dollar CAD will go massively into profit. If that happens, I'm going to bank 1 or 2K, possibly, depending on the spike size. Otherwise, don't know. Oil is my main issue at the moment. I've got $250 stop on it, so we may well get a move on oil as well, but we'll see. Everything's going to go mental. You know, the whole thing, P&L is just going to go nuts in 4 minutes. So it doesn't really matter what I do. And the US dollar CAD, obviously. This is the news line. So at the moment, US dollar CAD, I've decided to use this one because if we get one positive news event and one negative, can't do it, one negative, because this is the pair the news is on, I don't care which way round they are. If one is positive and one is negative, you're going to get double the speed of movement. So, or double the distance potentially as well. So that's why I'm picking US dollar CAD. If they both come out as positive, obviously they're going to combat each other, which is not going to be a great thing. So it doesn't really, I've got no control, obviously, but it would be lovely to be on the pair that moves the most if we get one positive, one negative. So we'll see what happens. I'm just going to quickly turn Financial Juice on so we can hear it. Let me turn him up. We'll see the move before we hear it, but yep, Soapy, it should be fun this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are. So I will also watch Pound US. This will be a really interesting test for this EA. I get the feeling what's going to happen is price is going to move before the orders get placed, or we're going to get the orders placed and we're going to get slipped massively. So I'm interested to see what happens and whether or not this is actually usable. Non-farm payroll is obviously the most volatile news release of the month. So this is the test from hell. If it survives this and manages to actually get positions on, it'll be a lovely test basically. So most other news events are a lot slower than non-farm. So there's our opening range, or pre-market 15 opening range. It's not an opening range, it's a range. Pre-market range. Pre-news range. I need to come up with a name for it. I'm making it up as I go along. I wouldn't beat down on B. It's all news after all. Yeah. It's going to go where it's going to go. I am merely a passenger. Spreads are starting to widen. There we go. Whoa, spreads. Look. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Oh, I was just going to say that. I'll let him talk. Not fired.
223k, 223k, higher than the forecast of 202k. US unemployment rate, 3.5%, 3.5%, lower than the forecast of 3.7%. Taking a look at the markets now. Upside movement in the S&P 500, downside movement in the
About 156.
5%, lower than the forecast of 5.5%.
Where's all my positions gone?
4k, 104 higher than the forecast.
New Zealand dollar CAD. Oil's on the move.
Higher than the forecast of 183k. US average work week hours, 34.
Just taking another long on oil.
34.4 US average month.
I had a pending order there, by the way. I forgot to post that. Oh well.
Daily participation rate, 65%, 65% US manufacturing payrolls, 8k in line with the forecast of 8k. US labour force participation, 62.3%, 62.3%. Higher than the forecast of 62.2%, and Canadian average hourly earnings month year over year, 5.2%, 5.2%.
Right, why didn't that fire? Have I got the inputs wrong? Oh, you. That should have been a 13.25, shouldn't it? That should have been 13.10. You idiot. Oh well. Wasn't a very good test, was it? Right. So whipsaw basically at the moment. So I'm glad I'm out of New Zealand dollar CAD. So let's try and dissect this. Let me just turn him off. So obviously massive spike down on US dollar CAD. So we've basically got positive for unemployment on the Canadian dollar. We've got positive for unemployment on the US. Not massive, not actually as big as I was thinking it could possibly be, but it's still positive. Non-farm is positive. Earnings is irrelevant. So yeah, all positive for the US dollar, which is great, and all positive for the Canadian dollar. Pretty much positive for the Canadian dollar. We have actually got a negative. Oh no, that's euro. Yeah, it's all positive. Big employment change. Big employment change. So that the reason we haven't had the biggest move in the world on that is because it's a positive against the positive news. New Zealand dollar CAD, we've just got a massive whipsaw. Aussie dollar CAD, massive whipsaw. I'm out of both. So that's just basically flattened me. Oh, sorry, Aussie New Zealand, isn't it? Aussie New Zealand was still in. That's obviously not a Canadian pair. So Aussie CAD, was I in that? I was in. Oh, what a mess. Right, so Aussie CAD, it's basically just stopped me out. New Zealand CAD stopped me out. Pound US dollar stopped me out in profit. Oh, look at that. Look at it. Look at it. Could you get it any more accurate than that for taking somebody out? That's right. Well, nothing I can do about that. God, how annoying is that? So basically, out of all that, I managed to bank $150. Whoop-de-doo. That's non-farm payroll. That's why I don't trade the news. What a nightmare. Right. We'll watch this for a bit. What was my lot size on that? Let me just quickly check. Pound US dollar 0.23. Whoops. I'm toying with the idea of just going in another short on this. I'm actually toying with the idea of taking a couple of positions on this. Easy buy. What for? What are you talking about, Soapy? Buy what? Buy anything US dollar, buy anything CAD, basically. GU, no, not buy, sell. It's positive news for the US, which means the US is going to strengthen, which means the pound US dollar is going to drop. I'm just watching the retracement at the moment. So that didn't trigger at all. Why? What happened there? I'm confused.com as to why the EA didn't trigger there. It did have, I'm not sure about the timings, but also where the hell is it? Have I got my timings wrong or something? Oh, you plum. Anybody spot my mistake? I've put the times in as UK times. Broker time is 15, not 13. I'm trying to trade 2 hours ago on my broker. You know, it doesn't matter how good you make an EA. If you're an idiot, you're an idiot. What a plum. Oh well. Anybody else get a test on it? Is Thingy in here? Thingy, are you in here? Shola, did you manage to get it on? Because Shola was going to test it on the news and see if he could get a trade on with it. I will. I do want to trade it on, test it on news. Going short £1 US dollar. Putting 2 more pendings in as well. Just going to quickly post this. Oh, wrong one, wrong one. Turn the volume down. Oh, what an idiot. Sophie, afternoon, I see kind of weird. What's kind of weird? Do you test for max slippage on the entries? I have tested. I haven't tested slippage. The EA on the EA coding, with all my EAs on the coding, it's got a 4 pip slippage built in. So if any if the EA requests a price and it can't get that price within 4 pips, the order won't be executed. So it uses 4 pip slippage. I've tested. The only way I've tested slippage is by using different spreads. So I've tested 2 pip spreads on the DAX, for example, and I've also tested a 5 pip spread on the DAX. And as long as the 5 pip spread result is positive, I'm fine. I don't want it to be massively profitable or a huge risk reward. I want to show it still is okay if I get slipped. I don't get slipped on the DAX. Very rarely get slipped on the DAX. So just running some tests at the moment on control points. Just as I'm running 37.6 million tests, but I'm only taking 10,000 of them because I've got genetic optimization turned on. So even if you were executed, the slippage might have been horrendous. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have a look at the 1 minute chart on that tree. See what it was. Yeah, I mean, that's the 1 minute candle. It did actually spike up first. So the opening range I would have had on it would have been here. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. So that would have been my opening range. So actually, when the event came out, it spiked up before it came down. So depending on whether my broker, with my Forex funds in this case, would have executed that trade by the time we got there, I don't know. If price was here, then the order was executed, it would have gone in as a limit order and I wouldn't have triggered it. So no way to tell. But worst case scenario, I would have been slipped down to there. I'd still be in profit now, but that's where I would have been slipped to as the very worst case scenario. But that's a minute. So I would have been slipped to somewhere down here if it had a slipped. It's a shame. It's a shame I'm an idiot. Never mind. Pan New Zealand, not really going anywhere. Shame I've got no CAD on now, look. It's total whipsaw. Look at that. Look at that. Got me out of there. Not being funny, but price didn't even trade there and I'm out. If I'd have put my stop above the propulsion gap, I'd still be in it. But these are things you see in hindsight, you can do nothing about. Definitely would have been stopped out of that regardless. and pound US dollar. So look at that on the minute. Look at that for a stop. Hey, do I know where to put a stop or what? I hate brokers. Complete, sorry. Market structure retest indicator is literally the best thing a breakout trader could have. Is it? It's actually meant for mean reversion, but oh yeah, the retest. But yeah, I suppose retest, because obviously what you're seeing is that you're talking about that, aren't you? So yeah, it is good for breakouts. It's only when I first released the indicator, loads of people got in touch with me and said, and they were talking about it as if it was a breakout indicator, and I was like, I'd never even thought of it as a breakout indicator. It's not. I've never used it for breakouts. Used it for mean reversion. Doesn't matter, does it? Really, how you use it, but it's wasn't designed as a breakout indicator at all. But people were seeing it as a accumulation break indicator, which I guess kind of is as well, isn't it? Can complete sweep on EU. Yeah, liquidity run both ends. So London session. Anybody that shorted London session, dead. Anybody that longed London session, dead. This is absolute typical non-farm payroll. Absolutely typical. Now they're enticing everybody long. Fed swaps show further, missed it, further slip in hike bets with a cycle peak of 5.02. It's 5.07 this morning. So 25 basis point hike on Canadian dollar. Come on, website. So if that is going to be the case, the Canadians are going to go up to 4.5, which will be a slowdown in interest rate increase. They'll bring them in line with the US. Obviously, the US are expected to hike again as well. So, so again, still all bullish across the board. And obviously, unemployment figures will be positive. So we were 3.7, we're now 3.5. That will get updated. I think that runs every 2 hours. So 6, 8, 10, 12, 2. So that should be updated in about 15, 20 minutes. You'll see that change. That'll be a good test. Wider spread, GU stop out. Yeah, that's all that was, that GU stop out spread. It's just the fact that my my stop is literally, it does, you know, I mean, that is definitely a spread stop out, but it's just the fact that I chose to put my stop there. This is a trailer. It was a 50-point trailer from there, look. Oh my God, no, it wasn't, look. So they've slipped me. I had a 50 on that, didn't I? Is that what I posted in the group? Where did I post that? 50 pip trailer added to pound US dollar. Cheeky gits. So basically, they slipped me. Measure. They slipped me 30 points. Gits. Unbelievable. This is my Forex funds. I don't know what broker they're using, but that's not good, is it? Oh well. Oil has gone positive. Nice spike on oil. They've just run liquidity at the Asian high. So that's the high of the day just gone in there on oil. Market. What is spread from to you? Bbook broker. This is a funded account. This is my Forex fund, so I've no idea who they use for the liquidity. It's Traders Global Group, whoever they are. I've never heard of them. These guys. It's the same. It's basically this is look at the website. It's basically my Forex funds, isn't it? Pretty much the same color scheme, isn't it? So it's basically my Forex funds. It's their own. It's either their own broker or their own routing to level 2 or something. I don't know. Right. ADRs. So we've got no ADRs at all yet. US dollar CAD was the ADR before before the news came out, and that basically was an ADR high hit. We've now come back down and hit the low, so we just put an entire ADR in 15 minutes. So literally just sweeping the decks, which is quite usual. That pound US dollar, I'm just going to scale into one more on that. Just going to wait for a little bit more of a bearish move. Seymour shorting cable at 119.30. Yeah, it's a good spot, and that propulsion gap. That's why I'm just about to put my second order. They're all B-book brokers, yeah. All brokers are B-book brokers. Do they have STP execution? I've no idea. I don't get a choice. If I trade with my Forex funds, they fund me. I trade with them. I don't get a choice how the orders are routed or anything. I just place the trades and they get traded. So I don't have a choice of who I use. If I want to get hold of just over $250,000, which is what I've got now, I have to basically trade with who they put it through. I don't get a choice. And if they want to slip me by 30 points, they'll slip me by 30 points. There's nothing I can do. But that's not these guys. That's brokers. I've shown in here many times examples of New Zealand trades where it's 80 points away from price on the overnight, and they've basically widened 80 points to grab me. You know, that's what brokers do. That's why I don't use stops. If you use stops, you get stopped out. Simple as that. That's what they're there for. They're orders. This is what the market moves on. The market uses liquidity. Liquidity is the form of stop losses and pending orders. So if you place a pending or a stop in the market will get it. That's what it does. It moves from location to location, taking liquidity. Every time you go like that, you are providing liquidity for the market. It will go and get your order. So, that's the way it works. I'm just going to take one more there. Just going to take that one off. Screenshot. Do you have access to your sentiment spreadsheet? It's all online. There's no spreadsheet. It's on the website. Just go to the fundamentals section, and it's this lot. So let's see, what's the time? So this will update in 7 minutes. So right now we've got, let's just refresh this, see what it is at the moment. So Euro US dollar at the moment, we've got 64% long, 36% short. We'll have a look at this in 10 minutes and see 69.31 last update. I obviously haven't updated this for an hour. So that's what the market participants were. Everybody was long Euro US dollar when the news came out. Yeah. If you were long Euro US dollar when the news came out, where was your stop? What did the market do? We may have a little bit more upside on this pound US dollar. I'm assuming, of course, the market is actually going to drop on the positive US unemployment figures, especially after the positive figures that we had yesterday. So hence me shorting it here, because I am expecting new lows on the day. But, this is non-farm payroll. They could well just come back up and test all this propulsion first and stick an ADR into the upside. Who knows? Stranger things have happened on non-farm. So I've got no ADRs at the moment, which is unusual. RSIs, we've got a few RSI extensions now. So Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Obviously, I'm still short on this one. This is extended on the 4 hour. It's just come out. It's just coming out now. So it was extended on the 4 hour, but it's trickling out now. So that will turn off in a minute. But I'm short on that, on this accumulation, obviously, as we looked at this morning. Looking for that to come down. Euro US dollar. That is extended to the downside on the 4. That's just pushing up at the moment. Obviously, this is a new spike. So I'm looking for this to come short still. Again, Euro US dollar, if you look at it on the hourly, we have got that big propulsion gap, which has been tested once already, but wouldn't surprise me if they came and put in an ADR on this today and just got everybody long so that they can drop it later next week. So we may well get a push up. I'm fine having a position short, i.e. long on the US. It's extended on the hourly. Extended to the downside on the hourly. Obviously, it's not anymore. And 4 hourly, it is extended still. Pound US dollar, extended just about to the downside on the, no, that's 4 hour. On the hourly, it's extended, pushing up on that now. So wouldn't really want to long it, but we've got this again, I wouldn't be surprised if we come and retest this, but I also wouldn't be surprised if now we've done a liquidity run on euro US dollar, we just start to flip onto the long side. Probably have to wait for the market to open. What happened to the DAX? Oh, God. Long DAX. Yeah, that's turned a profitable day into a loss day, isn't it? Didn't think of that. I completely forgot about my index trades. Never mind. Obviously, the indices you'll find will all be pushing on the weakened US dollar that we've just got. So kind of have got a double-edged sword here because I really want the US dollar to power up, which means these are going to come down. So I'm going to have to take a loss on the index trades to actually get what I want, but then I can flip short. See if we can push up into those highs. So US dollar CAD. God, if I'd have got that, if I'd have actually programmed the EA properly, that would have been a beauty. So US dollar CAD, obviously, we're just coming down to the Asian low of the day. Everybody that has longed all the way up to that ADR, to be honest, if they're intraday, they're out. But if they're not intraday, liquidity is going to be under there. So we should get some limit orders triggering, hopefully there. So there's a potential long opportunity here. So if you drop down onto M5, next bullish candle you could take as a bullish engulfing, or you've got to get the reversal alert there. If the markets can stay irrational longer, then you can stay liquid, then just trade irrationally. Yeah. The markets can definitely stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid. Take a look at gold. Yeah, it's gone up. It's an inverse. It's the same as every other inverse US dollar pair. It's gone up. It's just another pair cross. It's just another US dollar cross. XAU crossed with US dollar. Same as pound crossed with US dollar. Same as euro crossed with US dollar. They'll all be doing the same thing. So liquidity's run on euro US. We just put in a double top. See how long they push it for. Pound US dollar is starting to run out of steam. So that move that started that breakout is retested. We've got sellers stepping back in. Oh, that DAX is going to be a nightmare today. Don't know if I want to bank this. Puts me. I'm going to intervene on this and close these out manually. Also got the other account I need to close out as well. I don't think the DAX is going long. I think this US dollar is going to power up. So I'm out on that one. I've hit target on that one, so don't have to worry about that one. That one. I'm long. I'll leave those cells in place. So RSIs are all reset. So the only thing we've got extended on the 4-hour now is Euro US dollar. Let's just see if. So 3.7 unemployment. It'd be interesting to see if this works. I'm assuming it is on the hour. No, it's not. Must have set it 4 hours then. I don't know. I didn't set this to update very often because obviously this only changes once a month. So there's no point in me running scripts every hour or so on this because it doesn't make any difference. 69% long on Euro US dollar. Let's see what that's changed to. Same. No change. Data might not have fed through yet. It's kind of got those. Hasn't changed yet. Okay, so pound US dollar, I've got a feeling we're going to come and tap this liquidity up here, potentially, obviously, get an ADR. So if that happens, I'm happy to scale in again up at ADR and have a go at a third position on this. Brian, I'm liking Looney. So US dollar CAD's just taken out the lows. So that's the only thing that's hit ADR today, and it's hit ADR to the upside and it's hit ADR to the downside. Crazy move. I really wish the EA had triggered on that. So that would have been $100 risk. Where are we? M5 there. So 22 pips I had as risk. We are now 119. So what's that? 111 rather. So 5 to 1. It's $500 I just missed there. Oh well. Oil's making a nice move. We've got 25 minutes to the market opens. Is there any pairs anybody wants to look at or any analysis anybody wants done? Or I've done all the analysis this morning in the London live and I went through every single pair. So I don't really want to go through every single pair again. But if there's anything you want to have a look at, let me know. I might set up the EA actually to run the NAS as well this afternoon. Do that now. Oh, God. Can't click on the right buttons today. So we're trading 5 and 15, and it's 40 pip trailer with 100 break even. That'll do. So I'll get ready for that to trade the NAS this afternoon. Okay, third position on oil. So I'm 3 long on oil now. So I just need to watch ADR today on oil. 125 on US dollar CAD. We're at support. So that news on the Canadian dollar is obviously a hell of a lot stronger than the US at the minute. Glad I got out of that DAX. So we should be seeing US dollar starting to power up. There we go. So we are getting some movement now on the US. Didn't quite get the liquidity at these highs though, but that's taken. So this is the spike long before the Asian close, and then they put in that nice bearish engulfing on 15-minute. Where are we? Oh, actually, it was a hammer, a shooting star rather. Yeah. So enticed everybody. Sorry, no. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, enticed everybody short on that move. Everybody shorted it all day. Liquidity run. And that is the propulsion gap that started that move, which was initially tested, which is now being added to. So it all looks good for shorts at the minute, but we'll see. This is NFP. Doesn't play by the rules. David, good day again. Took gold on the 8 a.m. range breakout 2 days in a row with good movement. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, keep trading that. So what time are you trading at? 8 o'clock? 10 a.m. So that candle. So you got a long taken out and then got in short. Not masses of movement, but yeah, it's enough. Not 10. Where am I? 10. Yeah, re-entry on that was lovely yesterday. So you'd have been, can't actually see the wick on that. Move it forward one. So you'd have been in short there. Don't know what would have happened, but it would have got you in long. Potentially out, potentially long again, potentially out, but the short would have made you a fortune. Yeah. The thing is, though, this is, although it is, this is just London movement. The thing is, then this is what my whole point is with the opening range breakout. It didn't actually move in the London session until sort of 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Whereas with the indices on, in the DAX, every day without fail, it moves at the same time. Yeah. That's the difference, is the DAX movement, we can time it to the 5-minute candle. With anything else, including gold, you can't do that. But it will move in London. We know that. We just can't time the start, can we? So as long as you don't get too much of a choppy open in London, and I think probably the best thing to do if we're going to test these FX pairs for the opening range, or for the breakout EA and gold and things like that, is to use slightly wider ranges. So use 15-minute ranges or 30-minute. I would probably look at 15 and 30-minute ranges, because the movement you get on that gold move, for example, when it goes, I mean, ignoring today, but looking at yesterday's as an example. You know, if from this period you took a 15-minute range, that's what you're looking at. So you'd have got a short stopped out, just again depending on where you put your stops, but probably stopped out. A long definitely stopped out. A short creamed it. The 30-minute range, draw it on so we can actually see what we're doing. So there's your open 5, 10, 15. And your 30 was 5, 10, 15. So your 5, yeah, they're the same. 15 and the 30 are the same. The 60 is there. So a 30, 60. So you'd have had a 30 and a 60 short there. So you'd have had 2 shorts there. You'd have only had 1 short stop out there. And 1. So you'd have had a short stop out there, a long stop out there, and you'd have 2 trades went down to there with a 3-to-1 risk reward. No brainer, isn't it? 30, 60. This all needs testing in the back tester. See how effective it would be. But yeah, I can see it. See it working. 15 minutes to the open. Is it too late to join on the trade, Bernard? What on the? Well, it depends which trade you're talking about. Everything that's moved potentially is going to reverse. I don't know, but all news is positive for the US dollar, and we're coming off the back of a positive news day with a positive news day. Shola's just messaged me. Are you in here, Shola? Right, okay. So yeah, he's basically got in on the news trade. He traded GU long. It got him in long. It missed the 5-minute range, but it got the 10 and 15. I'm not quite sure what he did, but anyway. Needs testing. So there are indicators out there that you can get if you wanted to do news trade testing. There's 2 ways to do it. You can either go into any news event and just have a look at when it was released in the past and go and mark all this up on your chart. It's the same time every time, so it'll be 1:30 on December the 2nd, November the 4th, October the 7th, etc., etc. And you can basically go back and look at what happened before the news, where the ranges were before the news, and what happened after the news. Or you can get indicators out there that will actually mark historical news on the chart. And then you can just stick the opening range breakout EA on there and visually backtest it with that indicator on that grabs the news. But it's something I think probably is best manually tested. And there's really not going to be any one set file that's going to work on this sort of stuff because every non-farm payroll has got different ranges. You know, other non-farm payrolls I've traded in here. We've seen the ADR dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree. There's nothing today apart from one US dollar CAD, and that's because that's where the news came out with both of them at the same time. So, you know, it's very, I think it's something you need to visually backtest if you're going to try and trade them. But they're dangerous for slippage, so I don't know. We'll get feedback as we go. But this, Bernard, if you're talking about this trade on the pound US dollar, I mean, yeah, if you want to get in it, get in it. Stop above the high. So what I see happening with the pound US dollar is one of 2 things. We are either going to come and sweep that liquidity, or they're done with that. And we're going to come down, or for some reason, the US dollar is massively weakened off the back of all of this positive news. Not quite sure why, but they're going to take it as far as they can and entice as many people into a trap as they possibly can and along, and then they're going to come back and undo the whole lot next week. Don't know. You never know. But personally, I would suggest probably the US dollar should strengthen up this afternoon. I get the feeling we might have to wait 10 minutes until New York opens, because obviously the indices will help that along. But like any trade, if you fancy it, get in, use a stop. You're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. If you're going to be right, don't put a TP on it. Like I don't use a TP. I just get in, and we'll see where we go. We're either going to come and retest these lows or we're going to break these lows. I was expecting us to break the lows off the news, but obviously they decided not to because this is non-farm. Go back and look at non-farms in the past. Let's have a look at one while we're waiting for the news to come on. So the last one was 2nd of December and then 4th of November before that. December 2nd, so it's this Friday. Yeah. So that was that non-farm payroll. What happened after non-farm? What's happened this non-farm payroll? What do we think might happen after? Yeah. I suspect we might undo the entire move today. Might have to wait a little bit for the next one. So 4th of November. Yeah. Non-farm payroll. Liquidity grab. Completely reverse. Go the other way. 7th of October. 2nd of September. 7th of October. So that one they actually took in the right direction. Stayed going the same way. What date was the next one? 2nd of September. Whoa, where are you going? Oops. Yeah, okay, I'll put $250 stop loss on it. Where are we? September the 2nd. Yeah, non-farm payroll. Up. Reverse. So the vast majority of the time you will find with non-farm, the first move is the fake. The first move is the liquidity run, then the reversal. Assuming the first move is against sentiment and against the directional bias. So we've had massive positive news on the US dollar twice. And we've just had massive positive news again. That is what we should be happening. This is a fundamental news event. Yeah. And the fundamentals are making this a better thing. So we should be strengthening. So if they take it the wrong way, it's because it's a false move. There you go, 3.5. So that's updated. So that does run every 2 hours. I was right. I thought I was right. So the sentiment, let's look at the sentiment then. 69.31 euro US dollar. Where are we? Pound US. Oh, right underneath. There we go. So euro US dollar is 69.31. Pound US dollar is 74.26. Drum roll, please. So we're now 67.33 and 70.30. So we are still massively long pound US dollar and massively long euro US dollar. So everybody that was long on it has experienced a lovely spike up. So if they had half a brain, they probably would have added another position on that. All their liquidity for the whole lot of them is sitting down there. The euro US dollar, it's all sitting down there. Of course, they've all been liquidated already, a lot of them, and they've just added positions back on. Typical news trader, you know, it's what I used to do. I've been through the mill with the news trading. Has anybody else been through news trading courses or bought news trading EAs or bought news trading tools of any kind? If you have, you know, it's amazingly good fun when it works, but you will have got killed quite quickly trying it. So the news traders that were before the news event, they were long, basically got stopped out, entered into another long position, and now they're sitting there going, woohoo, look, we made a new high, we're going to pull back and go, with their stops under here. Anybody that was straddle trading had a short there and a long there. Yeah, so what the market did was got them in short and took them out. Now it's taken them long. Have they taken profit? Maybe. If not, that's what's likely to happen. But we never know, do we? We could look at a retest of that area. It's not a given. Perhaps you know my previous trades don't show the lines of when I got in and where I got out. So all you do if you want to show your previous trades is you click, you grab the trade, yeah, and you just drag it onto your chart, and then it plots it. Is that what you mean? So you just literally grab something, anything. Try to find something profitable. Let's pound US dollar again. Let's try another one. Aussie CAD. There we go. So it plots that. Uh, 5 minutes to the open. Two positive news days for the US dollar, so we can expect it to tank. Yeah. This is the problem with trading in general, isn't it? You know, the market is a completely irrational monster. There's nothing logical about the Forex markets or the stock market in any which way. You know, there's no way of predicting anything. You can have an idea, but you can never predict and time it. This is the problem, and that's the problem with stops. Is doesn't matter how, you know, right. My sentiment on the pound US dollar right now is short. This thing could go up here, all right, and then in the next week and a half end up down here. I'm right. The fundamentals are right. I'm right in my directional bias, but I could trade this thing short 20 times and get stopped out. And even when it comes down to here, I could take a short and get stopped out, and I could lose every single one of these trades and still be right on the direction because I use stop losses which get continuously hunted. You know, and that's the age-old problem. You know, you can be right in direction 1,000 times, but you can be unprofitable every single one of those trades that you take. So we are sitting in this propulsion gap rejecting at the minute on the pound US. We may well get a push on the indices. We'll see. Dixie still has a gap below on the 1 hour chart. Dixie. Does the Dixie have an open and a close time then? I didn't realize it did. I haven't got it. basically the Dixie is the euro US dollar upside down. So the Dixie at the moment will look like that, because this looks like that. I've never bought anything for it, for news this is, but I've used my own tools for it. I no longer try to bracket trades at the open. Much rather wait for the fade, yeah. Much better way to trade it. News trading is, the best way to trade news is, like you just said, is to wait for the fade. And the fade is going to come in two forms. It's either going to be that, in which case you just long off of a fib ratio, or as we're expecting on this one, that's a load of rubbish, and that's what they want. That's what they're going to do. Yeah, everybody. Oops. Euro CAD ADR. Everybody's seeing that lovely little hammer there. Everybody's just gone long on that. I'm pretty sure you're going to see that low taken out. And probably a little pop out the bottom as well to go with it, like a, as they eat everybody's stops. Because everybody's long. The market needs to find some food, and all the food for everybody that's pressing that button is sitting there. So they're going to munch it. It's like playing Pac-Man, isn't it? I start to believe the news are there just to move the markets, but the direction is decided beforehand, way above your pay grade. Yeah, it is. It is. This is manipulation. This is all manipulation. The reason people call this non-farm payroll is because we have this non-farm employment change. The thing that actually is moving this now is that is the leading indicator that the markets use as an indication of whether interest rates and inflation will be affected. Unemployment is more important than employment change, because employment change is great, but employment change can happen because 3 new companies opened 3 new branches and employed 300,000 people. Amazon is just about to sack 17,000. Yeah, doesn't matter. But the rate of unemployment means this is how much we've got to pay out, and this is how much support we need to give, which is an economic driver. So that's the thing that actually is driving the market. But they know that everybody trades non-farm payroll. So what is happening on non-farm payroll is there is a massive amount of liquidity entering. And what do the banks and institutions need to move the market? Liquidity. They need orders. They know that it's non-farm payroll day, so everybody's going to be pumping loads of orders into here. They know exactly where that is, exactly where it all is. And they take it all. And then they move the market where they want to, based on what the fundamentals have just told them, which is the US dollar is now going to strengthen. But they don't, and that's the thing, you don't know whether they're going to do it immediately today and be done with it, or whether they're going to string it out. But there is nothing in any news release for the last 3 days that has said there should be any weakening whatsoever in the US dollar. Every talking head from the Fed that's come out has been bullish. Every single news release has been positive for the US dollar. So for the US dollar to weaken to that extent on positive news, 3rd positive news in a row with the Fed talking positive, it's obviously a load of rubbish, isn't it? It's just them basically going, right, dump all those long orders, or dump all that US dollar, get rid of it. Market flies up, everybody goes long. Right, now bring it back down again, because they need all that liquidity to move it. It's just the way it works. It's the mechanics. But you see, like you're saying, if you run a shop, my brother-in-law runs a shop that sells stuff, and he needs customers. So he will basically decrease prices of products until loads of people flood in and buy it. And then when he starts to run out of stuff, he puts the prices back up again. It's exactly the same. It's supply and demand. If I need to execute a load of orders in one direction, I need a load of people on the other side of it. So if we start moving the market in one way, everybody gets on board and we know where we can go and get all that money. Just, they know exactly how to play the game, but they've got the money to move it and we haven't. So you just got to think the opposite. And that's why this is so good, because it tells you where everybody's, everybody that gets it wrong is going, and this tells you where everybody that gets it right is going. And if you've got everybody that gets it right going one way and everybody that gets it wrong going the opposite way, you've got a really good chance of being able to time something a little bit better than others. But this could well pop. As I say, we've got this move. This could be the move, and this is where time frame analysis comes into it. Look at on M15. We've still got this high yet to get taken out. When you look at the 4-hour, the 4-hour chart, that's the propulsion move. We haven't really come in and tested it yet, have we? So there is still an awful lot of upside left on this. Market's open. We've just got long on the DAX again. I don't really want this to trade the DAX this afternoon. I'm just going to watch this for a minute because now as well. So kind of hedged against myself now because I want pound US dollar to come down, which means I need the US dollar to power up. If that's going to happen, this is going that way. So got myself into another hedge. This is the week of hedging. I have a live sell trade on gold at 1850. Yeah, well, if we get that strength, I mean, everybody wants. Well, I'm looking for US dollar strength as well. So yeah, big opening range on the NAS there. 785. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. It's just been taken out on that one. Yeah, I don't really want this on. I just don't want longs on basically at the moment. That's good. I'm out of those. I want to be short. I shouldn't be micromanaging these EAs, but off the back of this news event, I don't really want to go long. So I'm just hoping we're going to get these shorts triggered. On dozens of tests with the ORB yesterday, was acting normal. In the live trades today, I had again a buy order for 100 lots. I have no idea what that is. Very weird. All I can say is try another broker with a demo account. That's all you can do. It's either it's isolated somehow to either that broker, which in your case is Traders Global Group on MT5, or something in that MT4, 5 rather. But you need to try another broker and get a demo account. In any MT4, you can just go and open a new account. Open an account. You can't do it with this, but if you do it with MT4 or any broker, just download a demo from any broker and go and try it. Nobody else has said that they've had any issues with the ORBEA taking 100 lot trades. Admittedly, 90% of people have bought MT4, not MT5, but there's still a lot of people using MT5 and no one else has said any problems. So, but the EA can't trade 100 lots. Like I said yesterday, the calculation to calculate lot size is based on opening range. So that is basically the way the EA works. Is it waits for the opening range to go in? Yeah, so it goes find opening range, and then it goes store the opening range, and then it goes place a pending long at the opening range high, and use a lot size based on that. And then it goes do the same for a short. And it goes like that, and it takes that figure and it calculates the lot size. So there is only one lot size. It's physically impossible for this thing to use two different stop distances, i.e. two different lot size calculations, because it only gets given one. This is normally you can think, oh, well, that's what it is. It's something to do with that. There's no logic in the EA that could possibly do two calculations because it has one calculation. I can't think of anything at all that would get. And the fact that it's doing 100 lots tells me that it's actually trying to do more, because 100 lots is your broker limit. So it might be trying to place an order for 1,000 or 2,000 or some weird and unbelievably high number. If there was, you would normally get an error in the log down here. You'd find something in here or in here that would be giving you a clue as to, it's trying to do a calculation and it can't. It would say in here, trying to place an order for 197 lots, placing an order for 100 lots because of broker limit or something. I don't know what the actual log is, but it would tell you. So I really don't know what that is. But the only way to bug test these sorts of things is to go and try different platform, different broker, and if on the different platform with the different broker it doesn't happen, it's the broker or the platform. That's it. If it happens on another broker and another platform, then yes, there's probably some bug in the EA. But if there was a bug in the EA, then everybody would be telling me there's a bug in the EA, and they're not. That's the thing I can't get. I need more data really for that. So short on the DAX as well as the NAS. Did I go extra orders? No, I didn't. It is always the buy order that goes 100 lots. The stop loss is okay at 114 range. Have you also tried it with, instead of using, right, so another thing you can try is instead of using opening range, yeah, instead of using risk, which uses the opening range calculation, use risk, but use a fixed stop loss. So set the fixed stop loss to true and do that instead. Try that. Instead of using the range. You know, just take an average, you know, on the NASDAQ, yeah, just set it at something like 600, and on the NAS, use something like 400. That should keep you safe. It's always the buy order as well. So the order is, I don't know if the order is buy, sell, or sell, buy. Triggers at the same time pretty much, so I don't know. And it is the first one only. If I cancel it and have continuous ORB on, it adds the normal lot size. And again, that uses exactly the same calculation. It's the same. All that continuous ORB is, it's all that is it's firing the same algorithm. It's all that does is set a flag to say fire that again. So if that does something, this thing here, when you set it to true, does the same thing again. Literally, there's a 700 lines of code, and when you have that set to true, it goes go back to line 1, fire those 700 again. So the fact that it could do one with 100, and then the second time round do something different, it's impossible. I just don't get it. I can't figure it out. Opening range. I'm trading all 3 opening ranges, aren't I? I've just got to keep an eye on my profit. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I can't do this testing for you. You need to do it your end. You need to try different things on live, and, you know, try it with very small lot sizing, and obviously keep an eye on it. So try it with wide opening ranges of 15 minutes, and you can use it over and over again, like we discussed yesterday in the Telegram. You know, if you use a 15-minute range, when it places those orders, you've got plenty of time to go and cancel off before it fires, haven't you? So you've just got to go and test it. But I would do all of this on a demo account, because demo account and live account execution are exactly the same, pretty much. So if you go and get a demo account with anybody, you can do this. You can do the testing on there. Should do the same thing. Do I always put a stop loss on these? Yeah, on a trade like this. This is an opening range breakout trade, so you need to stop. The whole idea of the strategy is we don't know which way price is going to go. So if we're wrong on one direction, we need to get out and then get back in the other way. So you need to stop. You could run it without a stop. I've never tried, and you would hedge yourself potentially. Again, that might work. I don't know. I've never tried it. Should we try it? I'm back testing. I can't try it. Right in that one. I haven't got tick data. I will try, thanks, but I have to see it live because on tests it works fine. So does it? First one is 100 lots and second is 6. 2 days ago it triggered that 100 lots and I closed it in manual on $300 plus. Very nice. You can't do it this weekend, Sompelu, can you? Because the markets are shut. You need to do this on a demo account. You need to test this on a demo account with another broker while the market's open, because you've got to live trade it. So you just do a bit more testing. But I'm pretty convinced it's it's either the platform, the MT5, and I know you've reinstalled the MT5, and that fixed the problem, didn't it? But now it's broken again. So I'm assuming maybe you've restarted your PC since then. I don't know what else is running on there. There could be something to do with that. It could be the broker. I don't know. There's lots of things it could be, but the only way I can fix bugs is if I can replicate them. And if no one else has got the bug and I can't replicate it, I can't fix it. I have double checked the logic on MT5 and triple checked it after I spoke to you, and there's nothing in there that I can see that could possibly do a calculation for 100 lots. It just doesn't exist. I've even gone through all the commented code which isn't running. I did everything. I can't find it. There's no bug. There's no bug that I know of. I can see. So if 10 people tell me the same thing, I can always track it down. It's just I can't find anybody else that's got the problem. Either that, maybe people haven't told me. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they would. If I bought an EA and it suddenly triggered 100 lots long, I'd know about it, wouldn't I? I'd certainly tell the person there's a problem. But yeah, I don't know. That's a really weird one. I've never come across that with anything. You want to manage it manually, but I want to put it on a VPS. You can't until you sort this out. I mean, to be honest, putting it on a VPS is probably not a bad idea. Try it on the VPS, because if you find this doesn't happen on the VPS, there's something on your machine doing it. And I know it sounds stupid, but I've had people move MT4 installations from a PC to a laptop, and it works on a laptop, but it doesn't work on a PC because there's some configuration issues on the computer causing problems. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful things that happen on computers. Very rare, but when you get odd things like that, they are rare, aren't they? If they weren't rare, we'd be able to fix them. Just having a little bit of a pullback on pound US at the moment. That might be pound strength. Yeah, we've got strong pound movement at the moment. Oh, actually, US is weakening as well. So I've just been stopped out of one of those positions. I'm going to stop out of that one, potentially. I'll get a re-entry on that one if we close above. How's that US dollar CAD doing? So we've got the 125 bounce. So liquidity run. Well, there is on that. So we've got that initial bounce back. Obviously, this is going to be a tricky one to decide because we've had positive news on both. So it's basically going to be a who's the strongest out of these two is going to win today. So it's difficult to call that one. So I stopped out that one. I've got a 30 pip trailer running, basically, or 40 pip trailer, I think. What have I got? 40 pip trailer running. So stopped out on that that position as well. I will re-enter on a break of the opening range low there. So basically that is the non-farm payroll move completely undone on the NASDAQ. We're 50% undone on that one. The Dow's pretty much undone. S&P is undone. So the non-farm basically is now wiped off the map, basically. So they can now go where they like. We got, as Evil's just said, I just had a notification come up on my desktop about that. We got PMIs coming out shortly, in just under 10 minutes. So again, if we get a positive figure here, we'll get a nice move on the US dollar. So let's hope we get positive services PMI. We had positive manufacturing PMI this week. Well, it wasn't positive. It was as expected, but as expected is as good as positive because the market will factor in the positive movement. So looks good. Potentially we get more movement off that. Oh, I haven't got re-entry set. Fingers crossed because I'm 250 plus on gold. Very nice. What, long or short? Short. So if we get, short from 1850, cool. So if we get positive US PMIs, we should see a nice drop on gold and also on the NASDAQ. Ideally, what I'd like to see is the NASDAQ up here somewhere before that news comes out, which means I'll get two pendings on. Hopefully, although I haven't actually tested changing inputs mid-use. So that should work. Tough day today. My P&L has been up and down all day. Been really chopped around this week. It's been a horrible week. Absolutely chopped to death. Very choppy. Hopefully next week we'll have a little bit more stable movement. So next week we got Talking Head Day on Tuesday. We got Aussie CPI. That's going to be an important one. We got the US dollar inflation figures coming out as well. And then we got GDP for the pound. So another big move for US with the inflation figures next week. I'm just going to turn financial juice back on. We've got 3 minutes. Nice wick test there. So that's the opening range candle. Came straight back up, retested that opening cash balance. Pop back off. Look at oil. Just so choppy. Everything is just so choppy at the moment. Very frustrating. Didn't get up into that propulsion move there. So I still think we can come up and test that, at least today. Hopefully.
One minute remaining. I'll leave with US ISM Services PMI.
Okay, got less than a minute.
10 seconds.
Whoa, Jesus. That's a big one.
49.6, 49 spots lower than forecast of 55.
1.8 down.
Minus 1.8 cent, minus 1.8%, lower than forecast of minus 1%. Canadian IV PMI 33.4.
So that's negative on US.
67.6. US ISM services new orders 45.2, 45.2. US ISM services employment 49.8, 49.8. US durable goods revised minus 2.1%, minus 2.1% as expected. Seeing some slight upside in the S&P 500, upside in gold.
Okay. So that's contrary to obviously the previous news. So just taking everybody out there, and we've also taken out that level now on pound US. So they're all dead. They're all dead. So we'll see now if we can get this move started. Now everyone's dead. It's a bit tight, that stop. Be careful if you've got a stop above there on gold. That was negative for CAD as well. Not as negative as for the US dollar, by the looks of things. Big miss on the PMIs for the CAD. It's quite a big miss for the US as well. Okay, so we are headed up potentially into which position was that stop on that one? Turn the volume down. That was an ADR hit on gold. So gold's just hit ADR, extended for the day. So again, there's that liquidity gone on gold as well. US dollar yen ADR. So just taking the stops there as well. I'm going to stop out on one of these pound US dollars. That one. Or maybe not. Whoops, wrong one. Look at that ADR, look, straight off of it. I think that's more coincidence than planning. Oil's going back up again. You feel beaten up, don't you, by news events like this? It's literally just like bang, 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 bang. It's just impossible with the amount of volatility. ADR on pound US dollar, been stopped out on that, I guess, or no, not quite. Coming off of ADR. Oh, I'm getting hammered on this account. That pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, there you go, I'm out. Closed out, max loss on that account. Shouldn't have let that run today. That was a stupid thing to let that DAX run through the news. That was a lesson. So max loss across the board again today, unfortunately. Well, not that one. That was a profit target hit, but max loss on 2. Boo! But that's my fault for letting it run. Stopped out on pound US dollar. Tell you what, why don't I just give all my money back to the market? Right. So just going to watch M5 for another short entry. Uh, 125 on gold. Wow, it really seems to have not liked that PMI figure a lot more than it loved the leading indicator. They're really milking this today, aren't they? I'm just going to move a sell stop up there. I better post that. I'll spell bearish. So got a new pending short there. Euro US dollars ADR as well. Seymour's in short on pound US dollar. 119.36. Got a big round number coming up as well. Funnily enough, 1.2, the big round number, is our resistance. So that's worth a shot, definitely. Don't get me in long. I don't want to get in long. Kenny, I thought US dollar would be bullish. Yeah, me too. Not having much luck at the minute, but that will change. It's just, you know, they're just pushing the market around at the moment. But this is all, we've had a full positive week. There's no way that the PMI figures are going to undo all of this positive stuff we've had all week. They're just really, really milking everybody at the minute, just pushing it around. There's not a lot you can really do when they do this, apart from wait. But this is the area I said, remember, obviously, earlier when the news came out, I said, you know, this is where I'd be expecting them to test again in this propulsion gap, which, because we hadn't really tested it. We tested it a couple of times and pushed away. But just surprised it's got this much of a movement off of the PMI figures, but you would expect the unemployment figures to trump PMI, but may be wrong. I'm going to get out of this second pound US. Where are we? 250, quarter of a percent, which is 150 ADR. So I'm risking 250 a trade basically. Shouldn't get up there. Stranger things have happened though. This is non-farm payroll. This thing could do 300% to the upside today. 125 on US dollar yen, still pushing. Yeah. Who wants to bet we're going to come up and try and grab all that lot? I'm definitely shorting it if we get out there. Very surprised if we get anywhere near that. So we're back within the opening range on the NASDAQ. Dow, same story, and the S&P. And now dovish news from the Fed, talking heads on financial juice. Oh yeah, Bostic. Yeah, today's job data does not alter my economic outlook. We must continue this path because inflation is too high. Job growth has slowed slightly across the country. Wages are not currently driving the dynamic. Yeah, we know that's why I've said it's not. The figures we're getting coming out, and unemployment's the important stuff. Unemployment rate will rise slightly. Well, it's just gone down. Make your mind up. Will rise to 4% this year. Yeah. I know. Expect rates to rise above 5%. Yeah, 5.25 is what we're forecasting. Expect interest rates to rise between 5 and 5.25. Yeah. We must then maintain that level and allow the policy rate to grip the economy, i.e. keep the US dollar bullish as long as we possibly can this year. Need to keep rates at their peak until 2024. Yeah, keep US dollar strong this year. Not be any agency of lower interest rates. Again, keep the dollar strong this year. Data will help us determine the size of the next rate hike, whether it be a quarter or half a basis point. Still talking about half a basis point, massively bullish. The labour market continues to ease. I would be content with a quarter basis point move in February. Is that the next date on the Fed? I thought we had one this month. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, no, it is February. Okay. Yeah, February the 1st. Okay. So basically that is all bullish at the moment. There. Quarter of a percent basis hike. Basically, they're slowing the rate down. So 0.5. They're talking 0.25, 2.5. The inflation figures are going to be the important thing, which is going to decide that. So we're sitting at the moment at 7.1. Obviously, the inflation figures we've got coming out are next week. Yeah. So they are forecast to go down. If the inflation does not go down, we will probably get a 0.5 hike. If the inflation goes down by anything in the 6s, 6.8-ish or something like that, then we will probably go with a 0.25 hike, potentially. So it's all bullish. Yeah, so it obviously makes total sense that the US dollar should be collapsing because everything he's just said is that, yeah, we're going to have a strong US dollar. This is all just manipulation in the other way. Everybody in their whirl and the wife is getting long on this now. Retail sentiment, 67.33. 62.38. So people are getting out their longs, but they're all still long. They're all still wrong. Just got long on the NAS. The silly move. Got to be a bit careful I don't wipe out the entire week's profit, basically, trying to ride a fake news event. Next rate hike might be 25 instead of 50. Yeah. I'd be surprised, but then again, they're only talking 0.75 to 1% for the whole of this year. So it would make sense to go to a 0.25 rate hike, but a 0.25 rate hike is a 0.25 rate hike. It still makes the US more attractive for investment and obviously for strengthening the US dollar. So even if it's a 0.25, it's still going up. And inflation is going down so slowly. I reckon a February rate hike, I think they'll want to get it up to that 5.25 as fast as possible. So over the next 3 months, I think we'll be there. And then I think they'll hold it at 5.25 for the rest of the year. And then it's going to depend what the rest of the guys do. It's going to depend if we're sitting at 5.25 here. It's going to depend on what these guys do as to whether or not the US dollar is still more attractive than everybody else. If these guys all start to slow, like the New Zealand dollar is slowed, isn't it? Japan never changes. Everybody else is on the rise. Yeah, New Zealand dollar are the first to stop because they're at 4.25%. They're high, but look at their inflation figures. It's the same. So the US dollar is going to want to make itself more attractive. At the moment, it is. They haven't hiked, so a 4.25 still puts them 0.5 above New Zealand dollar, and they've got lower inflation. So they're just trying to rally the US and keep the US as an attractive proposition, which it is at the moment. Which means this is just total nonsense. All of this is just nonsense. You're just trying to time when you should be getting into the short, basically. Hopefully I don't get taken out by 150. Just looking to try and get into another position short, but I can't find any bear moves yet, so we'll wait. I certainly don't really want to be long on this at the moment. What's happened to oil? My oil's tanked, isn't it? Oh no, still going. I got negative today. I was up over 200 today. Just shot to death. Aussie dollar CAD. Oh, I'm back in Aussie CAD. Oh, I forgot to turn the EA off, didn't I? EAs are brilliant unless you're a human being. I forgot to turn the EA off on the Aussie CAD, so it's just got me in on a new sell. I'm in. Again, Canadian dollar. It's bullish, so I'm quite happy to be short on the Aussie CAD. Oops. I'm obviously not going to get another entry up here because the reversal's down there. It's gone nowhere but skyward. We've got 3 minutes left on this candle, so we'll see if we can get some bearish price action in up at 150 ADR. We've got a new propulsion gap we're just about to tap into there on the M5 and the hourly. So we are back up into resistance now, which we've flown through at the moment. feel like we're going to range until the close on the Nasdaq. Yeah, I've got a feeling we are as well. I've got a feeling that this is what I said. I don't want to be in that long. I'm out of it now. It's been stopped out another $100. Yeah, there is a possibility. There's also a possibility that we will get a strong close on the US dollar towards the last hour or so of the session, which means that this will come down hard. So I'm going to let the EA run on this. Wonder if that will work. Let me try that. And we'll see if that's able to place pending orders long now. I'm not sure if that is on initialization of the EA or not. I'm not quite sure how that works. I've never ever used that long and short. Yeah, that does work. So it's only placing shorts. That's good. Because I only want to be short. So we've got a small candle there. So obviously look at the size of the candles. Yeah. We're getting exhausted. So I'm going to try one more sell stop under that low. So that's half an ADR. For a sec, I thought you were about to say all of this is bullish. Yeah, it is bullshit. Fun and games. Bankers are all basically got to go and polish their Ferraris at some point soon. London's about to close. So they'll be off down the pub polishing their Ferraris. And we'll wait for New York to close out. And hopefully New York will just close out strong and bring us back down somewhere, back down basically to where we should be, which is in this area here. So looking for them to bring us back down. We'll obviously see what happens when we get here. This move, obviously, this is just PMIs. Those PMIs aren't that bad. That's manufacturing. Services PMI, which isn't a leading indicator. It is a leading indicator in a way, but this is to do with economic expansion and growth, not to do with the value of the US dollar. So it's not, that's what I was saying, when these came out negative, yeah, fine, it's negative US, but it's not going to undo this lot. This lot are all leading fundamentals that we've had this week to say everything's going up. We've just had the Fed come out and be massively bullish and reinforce the fact that we're going to have a 1/4 to 0.5% hike. It's all bullish. There's nothing bearish that has been happening this week or said this week about the US dollar. So it's all just complete overreaction, but a lot bigger than I expected, to be honest. So hence being a little bit chopped up today. But only 300 down. If we can get a push down on the US dollar this afternoon, and the CAD can sort its life out as well, we should have, and obviously if I can get into a NAS short and hold that out of these lows, if we get that US dollar push, we'll be back up into positive territory today. I kind of want to short the NAS here. I'm thinking about it. Should I do it? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in manually. Just trying to bring my average up on these trades when they get triggered. So that basically there will pay for those two longs that I stopped out on. And then obviously these shorts hopefully will be profitable. I hate Fridays. Anybody take that US dollar CAD long? ADR? Just come off of the resistance support rather. Out of that propulsion gap. So we'll be coming back up into retest here. So we're just literally, it's the same as yesterday. Look. Same as that move there. I'm going to come back and retest this. Whoops, that's the wrong one, isn't it? That one got tested there. Look. But we'll be up there somewhere shortly. Not necessarily today, might be Monday, but so I'm setting TP on this position down in this propulsion gap. That one I will let run. And as I TP on this one, I'm going to add, because I'm expecting a drop, a new low. So I'll add, and then see what we get. See if we get any speed out the bottom on Monday or Tuesday. Hopefully that will pay for today's choppiness. Friday markets always die like this. Yeah, they quite often though at the end of the day have a rally. So look at last Friday. Huge move. That's my Fridays. So so we had that big run. So the last 2 hours basically. Friday, bang. Friday, didn't get one there. But you'll find that Fridays we quite often get book balancing. So not one there. Oh yes, that's Friday, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Look, Friday, bang. Last 2 hours. We rallied into sort of rallied in. We were kind of rallying all the time on that one, weren't we? But nothing there, dead. Oh no, so that's Friday. That just trend today. So that was moving anyway. There you go, big rally at the end. So it's quite common. Basically, Friday end of the week, brokers and traders are balancing their books. They're just exiting positions ahead of the weekend. So you just get big sell-offs before the markets close, so they can get out of their positions. So it's quite often the last hour or so of New York, so late in the day. But this is just a total chop fest today, isn't it? In one of those weeks this week with choppy price action. Lots of good movement though. A lot of people made a lot of money on that. If I'd have got on that US dollar CAD short, that would have been absolutely beautiful today, but missed it. Because I set the EA out wrong. I was looking at the wrong clock. I was looking at the clock on my computer and not the clock on my broker. Seymour, dealing desk needs to hurry up and take profits, and then we can all get down the pub. Don't like paying weekend swaps. No. Jeez, look at this thing. It's not giving up, is it, today? Pound US dollar will be running again. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Just got to wait and hope you don't get stopped out along the way. I'm going to stick a stop on this one as well. One ADR. Nasdaq, what are you doing? I'm going out at 5 o'clock. So, well, actually, I'm going out about 4:30. So, hopefully, they decide to chuck it all back in the other direction in the next hour. But unlikely because they're going to lunch. So, what were we, 9:30? Only 10:30, aren't we? Hour and a half till lunch. Anyway, I don't think there's much point in us sitting here watching this. So, Nasdaq basically, that position there, I'm either going to stop out above those highs or we're not. And we'll come back down. going to get into a position at the opening range low, and then another one down the bottom there. So that one will be taken off at the lows. And basically just looking for a fast, hard end of day sell-off, really, to try and see if we can get a little bit of profit on the way down. We could still make a low of the day on the indices, I think. If you look at what we're doing at the moment, we're just Christmas tree. So it's not difficult for it to run out those lows with the volatility and the volume that we've got going through at the moment. But equally, it's not difficult for it to run out the highs either. So we are obviously just continuously making new lows at the moment. So we may well just pull back into the range for the day and just flop about. And if that's the case, that's fine as well. Nothing you can do about that. Pound US dollar, still, US dollar's still running very hot to the downside at the moment. Pound US dollar, 150 ADR. I am going to get stopped out on that second one as well. Look. Wow. I think my only saving grace at the moment is oil. So New Zealand dollar, US dollar, 125. So yeah, so basically, if I get stopped out on that one, I've got this this position on, obviously, and stops above those highs. So I will try and run this back down next week. If they're going to continue to rally like this all day, then just have to let them go. I wasn't expecting them to go this hard and this fast. It's the same old thing, isn't it? Positive news, negative movement, negative news, positive movement. Completely nuts. Yeah, price just won't stop. Exactly, Kenny. That's what happens. But yeah, just got to sit through it. So I'll be taking another one on that one, I think. So yeah, a little bit lost today, unfortunately. Brings the week down. But it's not over yet. So if we do start to unravel at 150, I can't really see any reason why it would pick. There's no logical reason for ADRs are not a level; they are an extension. So we've got many more extensions above. There's no reason why it's necessarily going to stop here. There's no logical level. I suppose there is a bit of a logical level, but it's not very clean cut, is it, by any shape, form? In fact, you know what? What is that loss? I'm not going to extend my stops. We have got this level here. I'm toying with the idea of just taking another $50 loss to test that level. What's that going to cost me? I can take 300. Yeah, there we go. I shouldn't really do this, but there is a level there which price has respected multiple times, which we may find acts as a barrier. And obviously, if we can just get a pause there, that saves me $300. And obviously, I only need this. When this candle closes, we're having a mother of all propulsion gaps, which is going to get traded back into. So it's worth for me. It's worth $50 risk to extend that, just to see if we can get some kind of resistance pulled off of that level. So I'm sitting basically break even on all positions at the moment. So all I need is for the market to start retracement. I need some kind of US dollar strength, and that will all go back into a strong profit again. Oil's pushing very, very nicely. New Zealand dollar CAD's working very, very nicely. So there you go. There's that sentiment. New Zealand dollar CAD playing out. 86% of the market is short. Canadian dollars just had good news. Market doesn't care. So after the liquidity, it's all there. They're just taking these stop runs on the US dollar pairs to the ultimate extreme, aren't they? Seymour, I hope it's not 120.85. 120.85. Yeah, I mean that is your next stop, isn't it? So we've got these levels here. Any of these can act as support resistance levels. Sorry, as resistance levels in this case. I like this level though here, where I've moved my stop from. It's not an exact, there's nothing ever exact, but look at the price action around this area. Yeah. Balance, 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 retest, 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 retest. Slammed through it, retest, came up. It's just using this level all the time as a stopping point. Yeah, it's never exact. We missed it, overshot it, but it's a zone where price has reacted over and over again. It's part of the balance system. So this is the prices we're in balance at. And this is if you were to look at this as a volume profile chart, you'll find the volume profile chart will be like that. This is your volume profile point of control for this particular pair at this particular time. So, these are things you need to just look and try and find. There's no rocket science behind it. It's not necessarily going to work in any shape or form, but the probabilities are, historically, over the last 2 weeks, we've struggled when we've reached this, either from a selling perspective or from a buying perspective. And we're buying perspective at the moment, which means it's more likely to turn into resistance. So if we can start to pull back from there, obviously that's going to take me nicely back into positive territory. But that's what I got on. That's what I'm staying with at the minute. Hedged again on the CAD. It's because we've got opposite sentiment on the CAD, basically. So doing what I'm told. But the vast majority of that is obviously this pound US dollar squeeze that we're in at the minute. So oil got the new highs basically on the day on oil, which is good. So we've broken yesterday's high. We're just about to get a reversal alert on that on this candle close. Assuming this candle closes bullish in 15 minutes, we're going to get a reversal alert here. That potentially is the start of this move. So we're rounding very nicely at the moment to push back up, which is exactly the same as what we had on the previous move, just a rounding bottom. So fingers crossed, we're coming up to challenge that high. Oil could save me here this week. New Zealand dollar Swiss ADR. So we've got all the ADRs coming in now. Look, it's taken a while, isn't it? New Zealand dollar Swiss just hit. Choppy mess. Just nothing to, it's just a choppy mess. Shorting territory now, isn't it? Got a reversal potentially now because we've got a bear candle in there. Double top on the NASDAQ. Oh, that's tempting, really tempting. Euro US dollar 150 ADR. We're going for 175 on the pound US. So this is that level basically, which I'm looking for. See if we can find some sellers coming in here. What's the risk on that? 127. I'm putting one more on the NASDAQ up here. Very small risk. It's only $100. Obviously, on the basis that we're going to come back down and bring ourselves back into the range, that position and that position is going to average me into a nice little profit down here. Just trying to get myself, just scrape myself back into profit of the day, really. Double top on gold. Oops. Coming up, yeah. So yesterday's, this is previous day's high. So this is this week's high, basically, we're testing. It looks to me like they're trying to squeeze as much as they can out of liquidity areas on the US. There's still lots of areas hitting that. Euro pound, just taking a loss on, what's that? That was on NASDAQ. Oh, okay. Right, NASDAQ's taken out the high. So I got sell stop on here. If this is going to reject and double top on a break of these lows here, I will get into another position short. And that one, oops, alert's going off everywhere. Again, that one, be looking for profit down at the lows somewhere. Gold looks like it's going to double top, so 150 ADR on gold looks good. That US dollar seems to have completely stopped. Oh, so there we go. Still going. What a washout. All week's profit, look, so far. Milked. We've got potential level here as well. Don't think there's anything stopping this at the moment. I've got a feeling they're going for these highs. Euro US dollar, we've got liquidity up there as well. What's the US just taking yesterday's high? New Zealand US, we've taken yesterday's high, sitting in the propulsion gap here. US CAD, we haven't got far to go to take out the weekly low. Swissy, we're straight in this propulsion gap, so there's not a lot really going on there. This thing's a mess anyway. US dollar yen, we're just entering back into this balance there. Again, potentially this bias. Big runs today. US dollar CAD equal lows on 5 minute. There may have been when you said that, but they're not anymore. Euro New Zealand ADR. We've got massive movement on the Euro New Zealand as well. So everything moving off of non-farm at the moment. This is the third day out of 4 this week. We've had huge ADR moves. So there's massive strength in the New Zealand dollar at the minute. Very strong across the board. Equally Aussie as well. Okay, so to get a gauge of the strength between these two, Aussie, New Zealand, obviously, as you can see, not really going anywhere, but held down. So New Zealand dollar at the moment is stronger than the Aussie, but Aussie is massively strong as well. 150 ADR on US dollar yen. Some really good ADR reversals on these US dollars. I kind of wish I didn't have to go out, to be honest. 175 ADR coming up on pound US. Pound Swiss ADR. Ooh. It's not even lunchtime in New York. Got the rest of the day to go yet. So just watch all these levels. I've got to go in half an hour. But there's a lot of levels we're coming up to. Bear in mind, this is all against the news that we've just had. So this should not be, there's no fundamental reason for this. So you have to assume they are literally hunting liquidity because they're undoing basically everything that they've done this week at the moment. Yeah. So we've had, obviously, since Tuesday, obviously Monday was a bank holiday, just been up and down and up. Now we're coming back down again. So there's nothing, we're looking bullish on all of these US dollar pairs at the minute. And they're undoing absolutely everything. So it's just one massive pullback. It's just where is it going to stop? And the only thing you can assume is that they are going to just hunt this lot. So think investor or longer term swing trader entered short. That's where they are sitting at the moment, up here above this high. So to me, it makes sense to come and take that. I wouldn't have anticipated them doing anything near this strong, basically, but it's what it is. So I'm basically just becoming a target as well, unfortunately. Pound US 175. I'm just going to stop out on one more of these. Oh, it missed me, look. Makes a change, doesn't it? It's hit me to the pip many times today. It's about time they gave me one back. I toyed with the idea of taking this New Zealand dollar CAD off. I can always add this back on a pullback, but we're just taking yesterday's high. Just worried about a liquidity run and just drop on this as well. Pullback 125 on euro pound. I kind of like to get this back over here. Basically, this week on this, I've had a profit, loss, and a break even. That was that long that got stopped out today. So that puts me back into positive territory on New Zealand dollar CAD for the week. Everything is so stretched. I can't believe it's going to get much further today, which means that we may well likely pull back on the New Zealand dollar CAD as well. So these things that I've got profit on at the moment that are stretched, we're just about to hit ADR on this. Just wanting to bank something today, and then I can add it back here back down here on Monday. Yeah, I'm going to close that one out. Can't see that, can you? So got something in the bank for the weekend, basically. Don't really want to hold that over the weekend, but I will add it back on Monday. Well, the EA will add it back on, basically. The EA is running on that. And New Zealand's not going anywhere. New Zealand looks all right. So main issues I've got is Aussie CAD. So that's going to be too tight for a second entry. Oh, it's not that far off though. It's 40 and 48 is what the EA is set up for. Might change that one. ADR. It's reducing the distance between trades down on that one, which will get me in on that break for a second position. Obviously, if it pushes up any further, the reversal alert will move up anyway, which will definitely get me in. So that's not a problem. Pound US dollar is starting to breathe a little bit. God, look at that for missing my stop. I like that. Wow, Lee, you're still alive. London session just ended. Not yet, it's only 4 o'clock. The bankers have probably gone home by now, though, to be honest. So slightly murdered today. Only slightly, though. The day is not over. God, Nasdaq's off, look. So we've got a bit of divergence going on here. We've got a little bit of strength coming through on the US dollar, and we've also got the Nasdaq with a little bit of strength as well. So I'm just going to move my entry underneath that low. So EA's cancelled the pending orders. Hour and a half in. So if we can get a return back down to here, that'd be a nice little trade for the end of the day. See what happens. I'm out and break even today. Time to relax. That was stressful. Yeah, that was a stressful non-farm, wasn't it? It was a choppy mess today. But anyway, I really need to ramp this account up. I got to do 8K on this. I need to get a move on, don't I? I've done $300 this week so far. I need to be targeting $2,000 a week. So I'm a little bit behind, just to say the least. I need to get some big trades on. I need to get some more size on, I think, really. I'm trading too small at the moment. I'm trying to be ultra cautious. I'm trying to get some positions going. But the trouble this week is obviously I haven't managed to get any positions going because all we've done this week is literally revert. So trying to get some directional trades on with no direction. So having to wait. That was breakout retracement indicator is something else. That breakout retracement indicator. Yeah, call it what you like. It's called the market reversal alerts indicator because it's designed to reversal. It's designed obviously to alert you to reversals. That's the whole point of it. But yeah, use it as a breakout indicator. The whipping post, no sound. Everyone else has got sound. Hopefully the sound. I've been sitting in here waffling away for 2 hours. So no, 3 hours. When did I start? 1:30. 2:30. 3. Yeah, 2.5 hours. No one said they haven't got sound. So either I've been sitting here talking to myself or it's your end whipping post. Mind you, I don't know why I'm talking to you. You can't hear me, can you? Oh, yes, you can now. Serge, do I consider the 2472 moving averages on the lower time frames? No, because the 2472 moving averages on the daily chart represent the institutional reporting periods. So that is your 24 and 72. There's 24 trading days in a month. There's 72 trading days in a month from a reporting perspective. Okay, so Sundays are included in reporting. It doesn't matter whether if you want to use the 20 and the 70, fine, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're just to show you where the longer term movements are. So these are long term. These are designed to represent the commitment of traders. So the large boys, the big boys, are where are the big boys going? That's what it is. And they're daily. They're designed around monthly and quarterly. So if you pop these down onto a lower time frame, they don't represent the monthly and the quarterly moving averages anymore. So that's what they're there for. If you want to use them on lower time frames, you can. They're just moving averages. I would challenge anybody in the universe to tell me that there's a moving average that is respected. None of them are. They are all respected and none of them are respected. So the 72 has been respected beautifully today, hasn't it? But then in here, at some point, you will find a moving average number that will have been respected there. At some point, you will have found a moving average number that was respected here. I can probably actually do it for you now. Let's use the 24 and change it to a 36. No, it's going to have to be a different type of moving average, actually, for that to work. But the point is, there is no moving average that is respected all the time. Everyone goes, oh, look, there's a 50 bounce happening. No, there's not. There's a 48 bounce happening, but you're using the 50 and it looks about right. Doesn't matter what you use. All a moving average is telling you is where price has been in the past. The thing that people miss with moving averages is, and the most important thing about a moving average is not that, it's this. Right now, that moving average is flat. That moving average is flat. That is telling us that we are in a range. Yeah, moving averages are flat. When the moving averages are pointing like that, we're in a parabolic move. When they're pointing like that, we're in a range. That's what you should really use them for, because they're like everything, they're a lagging indicator. This hard right edge is the only thing that really tells you anything. But try them. One of the guys I used to trade with uses the what did he use? The 72, I think it was the 72 with a 20 on the 5-minute chart. And he scalped using the 20 them on the 5-minute chart absolutely brilliantly. There's a thing called a sawtooth pattern. If you look at this, if I zoom out, actually, let's go to Euro US dollar. I'll show you the sawtooth pattern. So look at this here. When you get this what he called a sawtooth pattern, looking back on it now, what he was describing was market structure. A sawtooth pattern is that. It's the tooth of, think about the tooth of a saw. Yeah. And now put that saw on its edge. What have you got? Market structure pullbacks, right? So what he used was 2 moving averages. Pick any, doesn't matter. Just pick some moving averages. When you are pulling back on the sawtooth, you add a position. Pushes down. When you pull back, you add a position. Pushes down, pull back, add a position. Pushes down, pull back, add a position. Pushes down, pull back. You wouldn't add one there because you already got one. Pushes down, pull back, add a position. Yeah. So when you on a 5-minute chart, you'll see exactly this happening on a 5-minute chart as well. When you get that sawtooth happening, so basically what his rule was when you get what we class as the moving average cross, after the moving average cross, that is your first sawtooth. When you get 2 sawtooths painted, and that sawtooth is higher than that sawtooth, you start taking sawtooth longs. That's what he called them. Very simple. But you can put the 24 and the 72 on a 5-minute chart, zoom out and look at it. Very, very easy to scalp with it. Well, you're not scalping, you're trend trading with it, but it's the same principle. But you can pick any moving average. Go and pick 5 moving averages at random, yeah, and put all 5 of them on your chart. You will find you will have respect off of those moving averages. All of them will be respected at some point. 150 ADR New Zealand US. US dollar CAD 175, still pushing. Doesn't bode well. So yeah, use any you like. Why didn't the indicator give a retest alert there? I don't know where I was, sorry. It wouldn't have given a retest alert if there wasn't a retest, I guess. I don't know where I was. Was I on a daily chart on something? Euro US dollar? Gave a retest alert there. Don't know if that's the one you're talking about. M5GU. I don't know how I've got it set up. Because I've got it set up for 5 bars as a retest. So it went within 5 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it already retested. That's why it didn't give a retest alert, because it had already retested and gone by the time I got to the 5th bar. So I've got it set up for, I don't use retests. I just get in when I get a reversal. So, but the retest basically is designed to give you that break, retest, W pattern. So if you use one candle, you would have got a retest alert on that candle there. And that would be the candle. So what it's saying is basically when you get the reverse alert, wait 1 candle, then start monitoring for retests. Mine says wait 5 candles and then start monitoring for retests. That's where the break is. It didn't retest. It never retested and broke up. That's why you didn't get the alert. There's no right or wrong. Again, it's personal preference. Pound US dollar, I'm out again. Ugh, God, what a day. I'm not going to take any more on this. I'm just going to. This thing is completely parabolic. Gone negative. Look, that's the entire week gone. I'm going to have to start scalping on this account next week, I think. That's the problem with proper valuations. I've only got 42 days to pass. I need to get a wiggle on. Can I test that to 3? Yeah, you can set it to whatever you like. Set it to 1 if you want. If you want to get it immediately, set it to 1, and then you'll wait 1 bar and then start monitoring. Taking a third Seymour at 120.85. Yeah, I'd like to take one here. 200 ADR. In fact, just under. I would probably put it at yesterday's high, or just under yesterday's high here. I'm going to put that in as well. Oh no, I pressed sell. Oh, you idiot. Okay, I'm short again. That's a good job I'm using small position sizing. Oh, yeah, so no, that's right. But I am going to stop out on this. I'm not going to go mental. So I'm trying to use a $250 stop on all my positions. So this is kind of like a hybrid position trading strategy. So I'm still position trading, but I'm using very wide stops. When I get a position on, which I haven't managed to do at the moment, oil is the only position I've got on at the moment, which has got multiple positions on it. When I get one of these on and we actually get some traction, the idea is I'll be banking $1,000 to $2,000 a trade. I just haven't this week. I just haven't managed to get anything on because all we've done this week is literally, this is where we opened. This is where we are. Literally all we've done with virtually every pair this week is revert. We've not got any movement. So all I've done this week is be chopped. Hence where I am. I haven't got a position on. I've had a few scalps, but it's just can't get any trades on at the moment. It will change. Just got to sit through the chop waiting for the big one. This is the same as the opening range breakout strategy. It's all the same stuff. You sit through 2 to 3 days of crap where you lose 1,200, you lose 1,200, you lose 500, you make 700, and all of a sudden, bang, you'll get a $3,000 day. And it's just sitting waiting for that payday. You can't time the paydays. You just have to be in the market when they happen. Yeah, NAS is retracing. So we just got a nice bearish reversal, bearish engulfing on that one. So I'm getting in underneath this high though. So I want confirmation of that move starting. I'm also going to set another position down here. Oh, there's a stop on that gone. Oh, so that's that one, isn't it? Yeah, Wally. Okay, so there's the high. So just going to make sure, leave some space on that. So 3 cells on, and I got TP on that one. Want to be out on these today, so and I'll have each of them trail 800. that one. I can go 6, 4. So each of these basically. So what basically the play is, I'm expecting to come back and return to mean at some point today, assuming we get a strong US dollar rally at end of day. If we do get the strong US dollar rally at end of day, obviously that's going to come straight back into profit. That's going to come down as well and come into profit. So all of that combined should wipe that out. But I'm obviously assuming that we are going to get some kind of strength off of the US dollar, which, at the moment, it's just not interested, is it? So we will see. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, guys, because I've got to go out in 10. So anything you need, let me know. I'll be in the Telegram group. I will be back Monday morning, 7:50, same time as usual, and we'll trade the DAX and obviously have a look at where we are with all these moves. But fundamentally, today, we've had nothing change. Everything is still a buy. And we've had unemployment change, so we may have some bias changes. Yeah, we've got some bias changes. Look, a little bit stronger movement on US dollar CAD has become a little bit more of a buy. New Zealand dollar CAD's a bit more, so there's lots of, everything's going the right way. It's just today is not going the right way. So we just got to wait. Who's deleting all their posts? Someone's deleting all their comments. Okay, have a good weekend, everybody. I will be back on Monday morning. If you need anything, let me know. Otherwise, hopefully we get some US dollar strength and we can get on some of these reversions and make a bit of cash. All right, so have a good one. I will see you Monday morning.